First of all, I didn't coordinate with Lisa to have the pet, but it worked out very well. Based on the first question, there's a lot of pet owners here and a lot of dog owners. And if you're a dog owner, do you ever have that dog that has the itchy skin? Maybe doesn't smell quite like you want it to, becomes more doggy, and have that deluge of dog smells to it. If you are, you're not alone. If you look at the information from pet health industry annual reports, one of the #1 reasons that pet owners take their dogs to veterinarians are skin issues. So you're not alone. So we're here to talk a little bit about some of the 3 top reasons why dogs have skin problems and what we can do. I'm a preventive person. I like to prevent things rather than treat them after they've gotten started. And there's some great things we can do to prevent, so we'll talk about it. The first one is parasites. Anybody looked at a dog and found a parasite? Probably one of the most disgusting things you see. But those parasites, they're basically there to get a blood meal to reproduce, and they're very efficient at it. But our job is to stop them, particularly fleas. One flea can feed. They can produce up to 300 eggs in a week. And if you let that go, pretty soon your house can be infested with fleas. The reason dogs itch is because they become sensitive to the saliva of that flea, and repeated bites causes a real allergic reaction. Now there's many products out there. There's some great products. What we have collars that will last out to 8 months. We have topical products that will prevent fleas from biting. We have monthly products that will kill them after they feed. You choose the one, but I'm not here to talk about flea products. There's one reason. The second reason is food allergies. What you may not know is that dogs become sensitive to foods just like we are. And one of the 2 places that dogs will express food allergies is by having red inflamed ears or paws that itch all the time and they're always chewing at their paws. You never think about food allergies. Now, regardless of that great commercial on TV that tells you your dog wants to be a wolf and that grains are bad, most dogs are actually sensitive to the proteins in their diet. And what you can do is change proteins, but eventually that dog is probably a genetic defect the dog has. It becomes sensitive to a protein. One of the ways you can deal with that is get hydrolyzed foods. They're going to cost a little more money, but it decreases the size of the protein and the chance for them to be allergic. What I really want to talk about is one of the more common things, and it's called atopic dermatitis. And basically it is a problem. It's defined as a genetically predisposition to inflammatory skin disease caused by the dog responding by allergic reactions to environmental allergens. Okay, it's a long definition. What does it mean to you? Basically, you've chosen a dog with a special set of genetics that you're going to have a lifetime of issues to deal with. And we have some great products out there now. Recently, there's some great products that have come to market that do a great job in stopping the itch, but they don't do anything in preventing it. Again, I'm a preventive. Okay. It's against environmental allergens. So basically, it's what those dogs come into contact with. The reason these dogs have problems is because that outer layer of skin called the stratum corneum, which doesn't mean anything to you, but it's basically the barrier that keeps things out, bad things, and keeps good things in. And in these dogs, they have a defect in that stratum corneum. And basically, it's like a brick wall where you have cells, skin cells that are actually like the brick, and then you have a lipid complex that is like the mortar. And the mortar on these dogs is damaged, and it allows allergens to get in, and bacteria to get in, and things like moisture to escape. And the way we help these dogs is to prevent that. The way we prevent it is by trying to repair the barrier. Okay. One of the best ways to do that is to use products such as shampoos and conditioners that repair the barrier. How many of you bathe your dog? Okay. What kind of shampoos do you use to bathe your dogs? It's important to remember that dog skin is different than human skin. Dog skin is usually 3 to 5 cells deep. Humans are 6 to 8. We're basically thick-skinned humans. The other thing is that dog skin is more neutral. People's skin is acidic. How many of you use your own shampoo to bathe your dog? An acidic shampoo will damage the barrier. Even though you paid a lot of money for that shampoo, it's not the right shampoo for your dog. You have to choose the right one. So shampooing is very important. The other thing that's important is what's in the shampoo. And there's a lot of research now that shows, and particularly on the human side and animal side, that ceramides are important barrier repair ingredients. How many of you this time of year are using a lotion on your hands because your hands dry out and they itch? And that's what happens to dogs. Once that allergen gets into the skin, it sets off a complex where we have a deluge of histamine released. Anybody been bitten by a mosquito? The little welt that develops, that's a histamine release. What happens if you scratch it? More histamine release. It's a vicious cycle. So our goal is to prevent it. So one of the things you do is find a shampoo that is very, repairs that barrier. These ceramides are important. The other thing that's important is when you bathe your dog. How many of you bathe your dog in warm water? Dogs prefer cold water. Cool water, not cold water, cool. How many of you dry your dog after you bathe the dog with a dryer? It damages the skin barrier. Towel dry them. There's great things you can do. There's wonderful ways to help prevent these dogs. A great example of this is my daughter has a dog in Chicago, an 85-pound dog that developed skin allergies. The dog was chewing its feet to a point where they were raw, had to put socks on it. We started the dog on shampoos and wiping its belly after it went outside, and for 2 years it's not had a flare-up. Simple things can make a big difference. You don't have to spend the big money for the great products out there. They're great for rescue, but there's other things you can do to help that dog smell good, feel good, and you enjoy having it on your lap and in your bed at night. Thank you.